as somebody who knows both endings of the spectrum, I've been that person that did not know themselves at all. Like, to the point where it's like I did not have an identity. I did not have a personality. It was like I was just walking around as a person, just like how a lot of people are. You know, I'm just going to work and I'm just going to school and I'm just doing what I'm told because that's what's normalized. You know, everybody around me is doing this and I'm just literally, like I said, just doing what I'm told, and I'm not really doing it based off of, you know, how it actually makes me feel as a person, how it actually makes me feel on the inside. Like, that's not even something acknowledged. That's not even something that I was told was important. That's not even something that I even knew existed, you know, about, okay, how something actually makes me feel on the inside because of what I'm seeing all around me. And so to finally make it to this point where I feel so much love within myself, and I'm grateful to be at this point where I get to experience this version of myself, and I get to experience what it's like to genuinely feel at peace and to genuinely feel happy on the inside and to genuinely experience what true love actually is. That is why I make it such a big deal in all of my videos. And like I said, there was the dark time, like, where I did not feel like a person. I felt like garbage. I imagine all the dark emotions that you could possibly feel on the inside of your body. Like, I was feeling that at one point. And, you know, I thought that life was just full of suffering, and like I was just going to continue to walk around and suffer in my life, and that there was no real escape for it except one way, you know. But I eventually found that there's actually a different way to handle things, and a different way that's not destructive towards myself, you know, to help myself feel better and to, you know, eventually end up reaching the point where I can actually say I love myself and I love everything about myself, and I actually feel that on the inside. And so that's what I pour out and I push towards other people, and I see in other people, and I know other people can experience. When you watch these videos, it doesn't matter who it is, like me or whoever it is, like, yes, it is important, like, because all of this that exists, these things are chain reactions, you know, a butterfly effect, like you watching a video and it helping with you realizing things, or if you already realize things and then the video provides clarity. Like, it all plays a part. There's value in all of this, but it is so important that you remember to also sit with yourself, to give yourself the opportunity to conceptualize your own thoughts and to really think about what you just absorbed, you know, the information you just received, and, you know, so that you can sit and have those realizations about the things that you just allowed into your, you know, space, like, and allowed into your mind, the things that you just listened to. Like, it is important that you sit with yourself so that you can think to yourself and study what's going on with how you feel in that moment, and how you feel after watching something, how you feel after listening to something, and whatever information you end up receiving in that moment. I just always want to put emphasis on that. Like, do not be dependent on just watching video after video after video after video after video and never allowing yourself that time to yourself to sit in moments by yourself, to just be, and to allow your thoughts to connect, like to allow your thinking to connect, and for you to even have realizations. It is so important, because if you just become dependent on watching videos, like I'm sure you've seen where people talk about falling into a self-improvement what is it called? Trap, like falling into the self-improvement trap. It's kind of a similar thing where you just keep taking in all this information, and then it's just information that's just there, and it ends up losing the value because you don't actually put any action behind anything that you're allowing yourself to absorb. You're not putting any action behind the knowledge that you are gaining. And so it's just there, it's just there, and nothing's being done with it. And so that's what this video is mainly about, just a reminder behind that, because as a person that has experienced this, I've experienced where I was asking questions from people outside of myself, and these were questions that I just felt were so important. Like, I wanted to know, like, okay, for example, how do you find your purpose? What even is a purpose? What does that mean? Like, where did that come from? Like, why, as a person, do I have to find what a purpose is? Like, I just had all these different questions, and I'm asking, very trusted people whose words are actually very valuable and come from a place of love and come from a place of, compassion, where it's like what they would have to say, is going to be something where it would help. But what I ended up realizing was that when people tell you that you really don't need anything outside of yourself, they are saying that because what you'll end up realizing is you actually would have came up with whatever answer this person is going to tell you when you ask them. You actually would have came up with that on your own, but you just have to sit with yourself enough. And this is the thing, it's like a balance. You can't just keep consuming and just never actually doing anything with the things that you watch. You literally, if you watch something that resonated so much with you, you actually felt that to your core. And you go back to like things that, if you've been journaling, or like I said, you sit with yourself about different things, and you allow your time, you allow yourself that time and that space to actually develop those rationalizations and those realizations for yourself. You'll end up learning your own patterns. You'll end up learning your own thought patterns, and you'll start to see, okay, this is what I actually would need in order for me to help gain clarity on something, And I've talked about this in other videos, how watching videos, reading certain types of books, even being open to talking to certain people around you helps. Like, all of this exchange of energy, between all of these different things, they all contribute. But I have to put emphasis on that because it is important for you to know that you are not going to reach where you want to reach just by only watching videos all the time. That is not how you do it. That self-improvement trap that people are talking about is a real thing, where you just want to keep watching it. You might feel some dopamine from watching it. You might feel whatever type of rush of chemicals that you feel released in your body from watching something that makes you feel good about yourself, and maybe even saying things that you want to hear, but you never actually put any actions behind that. You know what I'm saying? Including sitting with yourself to actually think about what you just watched, or sitting with yourself to actually think about what you just read, or sitting and allowing yourself to really sit there and think about what you just heard. It is all a part of the process. And it's important that you really do it. You know what I mean? I know what it feels like to, come across somebody and to really resonate with everything they're saying if you're around, because you just haven't been around anybody that you feel like understands you. And so, the internet has allowed you to have access to all of these different people who you just have found you resonated with so much after feeling so alone for such a long time and realizing you're really not alone. And so you just feel that sense of, comfort and that sense of just being seen and feeling love behind that, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what it's all here for. I put these videos out You know what I'm saying? And allowing myself to be vulnerable to a certain degree, because I know the impact that it can have on another person, even if I'm like scared or afraid to open up about certain things and to put that on the internet. But knowing that this video could reach a certain type of person and it will literally lead to a chain reaction and be a catalyst towards a whole domino effect, you know, being a part of somebody's journey. If you resonated with anything I spoke about, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing so that this video reaches someone who may also need to hear this message. Thank you and bye.